shelves and people are buying it. I have it. It's wonderful. But it's funny. You've written this book, but
It's not over yet.
Yeah, it's not over yet. The book is it's not over yet. And what I want to do is I want to go back to the beginning with you and start. What this book had to come from somewhere. And it had to come from years of something that you were doing and going through and your experience. And not
wow,
only,
I'm getting emotional already.
Oh, good. This is going to be a really good show. If you're going to get emotional,
Okay,
do it
hold
here.
on, ladies.
Yeah, nobody's listening. Don't worry. So, well, let's go back to the beginning. Like where did all this start? Because the words that you put together in this book came from somewhere. So I would love for you to share, Sally, today. So let's go back even to how did you get into makeup?
Well, this is wonderful. First of all, I'm going to start with beauty power.
Yes.
I think it's about beauty power. It's about maintaining, reclaiming, losing, regaining your beauty power. And we talk a little bit about, if we can today, about
Yes.
what beauty power is in my mind.
I love it.
So you asked me about how I got into makeup. I was very early in my life. I decided I wanted to be an actress. Like a lot of us, we try different things. I was going to be a nurse. And then I found that I was actually very talented with makeup. And so I thought, okay, this is going to stick. And I did stick with it for my entire life and my entire career, doing makeup for brides, working in studio work, all on-camera makeup. That's kind of what I'm known for, is on-camera makeup.
Okay, and then what brought you to this journey now of beauty power? Is it from doing the women's makeups, hearing their stories, going through your story? I mean, how did this all come about?
I think this is interesting. Remember yesterday we talked a little bit, Ellen and I had a really great talk yesterday. We finally both got to sit down and look at each other and really get to know each other a little bit more. And it was really great. And we came up with this idea that let's share this today. So basically, when you're a beauty professional and you're working with women your entire life, well, men too, and you are helping these people bring out their beauty, their inner and outer beauty, you learn so much about people. For instance, I was doing how when you do a testimonial of a brand new skincare product. It's a corporate skincare product. It's a big major product. I can't say the name. And we had to go back every 6 weeks and re-photograph and video these women that were working with the skincare product. And we had to show the results of it. And what was so interesting to me is when we had these women on camera, we had to pull their hair back into a ponytail, and the only makeup they could wear is mascara. So every woman, when they're brought in and they see themselves on the monitor, whether they are a beauty queen, professional actress, housewife, whatever they were, almost every woman had the same look in their face when they saw themselves on the monitor, completely clean with no makeup on. They tried to negotiate with us. Could I please put a little concealer? Could I please just put on a dab of lip gloss? Could I please do this? No, because we're showing the results of the skincare product. But what was so interesting to me was to watch how a woman who is stunningly beautiful to a woman that might be what we would consider maybe more of a plain woman who didn't really work on her beauty power, they all had the same reaction, Ellen. And that told me a lot about women.
That would have to be I love that you shared that. Because is that kind of what got you going into writing this book?
Yes, I think so, because I experienced this myself. I had my daughter late in life. I was 42 when I had her, and I was so excited to be a mom and embrace that part of my life, and just my daughter just changed everything. It was just so wonderful. When you become a parent, it's almost like the world has opened up to you. It's just everything is so different. I call it's heaven and it's hell, because you have to give your whole life to this child. And so for years of being where it's all about you and how you look and how you dress and all that, it now becomes more about your kids. So I think I was one of those moms that did that. And I started putting all the focus on my daughter and not really worrying as much how I looked. And here I was, a studio makeup artist. And so I'm supposed to look good all the time. And I find that when I had a job, I would dress up for it. But other than that, I had the mom look. That mom look that I write about in my book, which is it's like baseball cap and sweatpants, or it's a baggy dress and sunglasses with your hair in a clip. It's just running around doing your errands and just not worrying about it.
I know. I remember when my sons were little. I have two boys, and they're 17 months apart, and they were fighting. And I was wearing the cutest dress, and I had to bend over to like break up the fight. And obviously, the dress comes up, and my underwear showing. Last time I wore a dress, so sometimes the sweatpants were warranted. We're gonna take a break right here, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna find out more about Sally, because this book is great, and I want everyone to know, how did she come to write this book? Because a lot of people are gonna need to know that, because that's gonna give this book a lot of meaning to everyone listening. This is Ellen Como on BalaCore Fitness on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to BalaCore Fitness Show here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Ellen Como, your host. And who I'm here with is Sally Van Swearingen, and she is a writer and a makeup artist, and she's sharing a little bit of her story, because whenever you write a book, it's not just, you don't sit down one day and just say, I'm just going to write a book. The book usually comes from past experiences or imagination, but in your case, it's from your past experiences, something that you really wanted to share to help to women and men, to share about owning their beauty power. It's not over yet. Yes. And letting women know it's not over yet. So, I would love for you to share, and that's what we were doing this hour, what steps and what experiences it took you to write this book, and why in your heart did you feel that this is something that you needed to put on paper, and you needed to get out there to share with people.
Well, Ellen, I want every woman of a certain age to know you don't have to be invisible. You can claim your beauty power at any age. And I see too many women out there, including myself, I did it, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. They give it up way too soon. They decide, you know what, I'm in my 40s, my 50s, whatever age it could be. I've had my time to look good. I'm just going to disappear into the sunset. And you know what, Ellen, I have friends like that. I'm sure you do too. And you're in the fitness business. But I'm sure you still have friends that have done that say to you, whatever, it's not important. Like, you've probably encouraged people to come to BalaCore. And they say, well, whatever. I'm sure they have things they say to you about that. It's not too late. And definitely, I just don't want women to say, I am past a certain age and I've already had my time to look good. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to keep putting it out there. And we are on a mission, and we're challenging every woman to reclaim their beauty power.
I was in New Orleans, and I was at a small bookstore, and I saw this woman, and she was in her 70s. She was stunning, beautiful, and I don't mean over made up. I don't mean a lot of makeup. Just a beautiful woman with a beautiful smile. And I think every woman, and every man too, everyone can look great no matter what age they are. And when we get to a certain place, it's not even about where our cheekbones are or if we have the perfect nose or not. I think it all comes down to taking care of ourselves.
And I think what it is that and I'm saying this personally for myself too, I am extremely busy. And I know you are too. You and I talked about that. It's a challenge for us, isn't it?
Yes.
And here I have a salon here in Santa Clarita, the A-List, shameless plug. And, I am an author, and we're pushing out the book. And my boyfriend tries to keep me focused all the time. I'm running in every direction. And I'm a typical example of a woman that is just too busy to take the time to put myself together. But you know what? I have to take 5 minutes and do a few things that will really bring up my beauty power. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about first how I got there, and then people listening are going to want to know, well, what are those things? Tell me now.
I want to know what those things are too, because with me being as busy as I am, I know, it's funny when you are that busy, and I have the fitness studio and I do a lot of volunteering around the city. I'm very, very busy. And we kind of learn how to fake it a lot, right?
Fake it is good.
We fake it till we make it, right? Don't we? And so people might think we really took some time on ourselves, but we do have those little things that we have in our pocket
tricks
that we pull out.
And you being a beauty queen, there are tricks.
Yes.
And being a makeup artist, I have tricks. So
yes.
We both can share some things today. So basically, I think where I got to in my life was I was talking earlier about how my beautiful daughter Bridget, and all the focus was on her, and just being a mom and all that, and having a family. And I think I lost something of myself, and I became invisible, which is what I don't want women to be. And what that is just kind of just running out the door and not focusing on looking attractive. So what I think a woman should do is when you get up in the morning and you're running out the door and you don't have that much time, take a few minutes to put yourself together. So what that means is put on a little bit of concealer, put on a little blush. I really see this non-blush thing going on. Now, Ellen, you have your blush on. You look gorgeous.
My blush on.
You may not have time to do the full-on makeup, but a little concealer, a little blush, a little lip gloss, put a cute top on. Put a bracelet, earrings, something. Put something on to kind of give you a little bit of sass. And I'm thinking of women that I know now that always look put together. Well, maybe you're not one of those women. I'm not one of those women. But you know what? I have to take an extra 5 minutes so that if I run into somebody, a potential client, whoever, that I don't have to hide behind sunglasses, that I could look right in their eye and say, hi.
Exactly. That's the way when I go to markets and I go to, I never know who I'm going to run into.
So true.
And this morning, can I tell you, and we're going to have the picture up because they took a picture of us.
Tell us. Okay.
And, I've got to tell a confession. I overslept and I didn't have time for a shower this morning. So I literally I had enough time to curl my hair, put some blush on, put some lip gloss on.
It's
and
okay.
run
You
out
always
the
smell
door.
good, Ellen.
Yeah, no, I did that. I don't. Yeah, I made sure I smelled okay. But, true confession. So, we do have those mornings where I didn't have time for mascara, but I always have time for blush. I always have time for lip gloss and obviously for a little bit of my perfume or something. So you always have time for something and a little bit of curling your hair.
You always have time
for something. Yes.
So when women tell me I didn't have any time, then we have a minute.
We have a minute.
What can we do in a minute? And in my book, I talk about my 5 beauty power tips,
which we're going to talk about when we get back. We're going to go to break right now. This is Ellen Como on BalaCore Fitness Show here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.